Hello, good afternoon. It is the Everton Daily Live. It's Thursday, the 26th of June. 4 days till the 30th. Oh, I'm joking. I mean, I'm not joking. It is 4 days till the 30th, but you know what I mean. Everton have released their new kit, the 25-26 season kit. Go and check out Ped's video if you haven't already about it. Lots of you have. Some mixed reviews about it.
I don't feel like anyone can see it there.
Well, I don't think you can see it anyway.
I think you should swap it with that one.
Put it wherever you want. I don't really care. Just have to be hung up.
Doesn't have to be hung up. Not under any commercial pressure to hang it up.
No.
We haven't got any commercial overloads, as far as I know.
Or have we? Literally one behind me. But, yeah, I mean, don't think anyone can see it there either.
There's no head in the way. Look, it's
the same.
It's not.
I like it. I've got to say. I like the fact it's different. The wave thing on it just gives it a bit of a different look.
Is that the technical term for it? The wave thing on it?
The wave, isn't it? The blue wave is on it to represent the River Mersey. I mean, ironically, there's no waves in the River Mersey, but there you go.
Don't know. You get a bit of a big tanker going up there.
Okay.
You've got plenty of waves.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No, but I'm loving the fact it's blue socks. That's the thing I'm the most excited about. Blue, white, blue should always be Everton's kit. But yeah, I quite like it. I think people don't universally like Everton kits anyway. Even ones where you go, it's a great kit, that you'll get people going, it's awful. Or ones where you go, I'm not sure, you'll get others going, it's amazing. So I don't think you're ever going to get a universal agreement.
I'd like to have seen the socks be like the design of the shirt.
With the waves on?
Yeah. So almost like going back to the 95 socks.
But would
have been fantastic.
I don't know, might have been just too much going on.
I want too much.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're in for a bit of
Blue Peter little badge
I don't think we need a Blue Peter badge on it. I mean, they did ironically get shown around the ground.
How do you know that?
I couldn't possibly say.
I mean, the easy answer would be because there was a YouTube video, but now you've alluded to something darker or deeper even, which might...
I don't understand why that isn't outside the way yet, but maybe. But anyway.
Which?
None. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I like it. It's good. Yeah. It's good. So, I mean, most years you just go, well, it's a blue kit. What can they do with a blue kit? But I do like they have done something a little bit different with it. Price, I know a lot of people aren't impressed with the price, but that's football kits nowadays. It's just ridiculous. There must be a cheaper way to do it.
There's definitely a cheaper way to do it.
But obviously still be financially good for both parties. But because they're just going north, the prices all the time, aren't they? It's not for adults really, but for like parents and stuff. Yeah. They are expensive.
No, they are expensive. Like I don't buy kits obviously anymore. But
well, you posted, this is nothing to do with Everton, but you posted, you like sending us some pictures last week when you're in London of prices of some of the kits, like 150 quid for like a PSG top. I mean, like, what's that? I've seen when I've been in America and a baseball one, but like when I've been in America and like look at the MLS kits, they're like 130. You're messing. Yeah. Like, why? Like, it's crazy.
Someone was abroad last week and he said he went somewhere and the kits were... Someone in this building went somewhere and they were like, they went to buy kits and the kits were ridiculously expensive.
Oh, was it Paul?
Might have been.
Paul,
I can't remember.
Wherever he was, yeah.
But, no, I'd be like, I don't get it. I don't get why they have to be so expensive. It's why Nike were pulling out of football, because it was like the money they were having to pay the teams for the kits. Yeah. You have to put the kits up to a certain price, and it just wasn't working out. So Nike have pulled out massively out of football in terms of like day-to-day clubs. That's why they couldn't match Liverpool. No, at the end of the day, it is becoming ridiculous. It is just a top. I know there's loads of different ways of looking at it, but because you could go, you spend 40 quid on a takeaway. Takeaway shouldn't be 40 quid. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's what we're getting to, aren't we? Because you go for a coffee and it costs you a tenner. And you go, coffee shouldn't cost you a tenner either. Sadly, it's just the world we live in, and Unless, I don't think the prices are ever going to come down, but I do believe that.
I wonder if they could just top out, though.
Well, I was just going to say maybe the kits could last for 2 years.
Well, I think that's again, we all want, we can't have a go with the club as such over it, because we're all banging on about the club, trying to make more money so we can get better players and be where we all want to be, of course. But I do think there's a responsibility for, this isn't Everton's problem, by the way, for football, where, isn't it, did Brentford keep theirs for 2 years?
They did do, yeah.
They done it. And I think
they're moving back.
Because they do 3 kits a season, I think one of the kits,
3 goalie kits
and 3 keeper kits, I think they should keep one of them for 2 seasons. Now, if that's the home kit, okay,
alternate
then do it and just alternate it, yeah. And I think that way, at least, if
alternate it so that it's, you know, you have the home kit this year, and then the away kit comes out next year, and then that's for 2 years. So there's always that overlap.
I know it changes if you're going to change providers, kit providers. I get it, but if you're not, then try. Maybe,
I think there's a lot of things you can do. I think the other thing you can do is fill your shop with quality gear, a lot more quality gear, so that there's other things you can buy. So that you know, I buy training tops because that's what I wear.
Yeah, you're not going to wear the kit.
I don't wear the kit. I wouldn't even wear the kit to do any kind of exercising, because you'd have to buy that version, and it's 115 quid. I'm not paying 115 quid. So I buy like training tops and stuff because I'll wear them. So, but if you brought out like 3 or 4 training tops, again, I'd probably buy 3 or 4 training tops, because I need 3 or 4. I need them for you know, for when when you're exercising and stuff. That's something I actually need. So if you bought 3 or 4 out, I'd probably buy 3 or 4. So that's actually selling me something I actually need.
See, I'm just thinking of like, I know, listen.
No, it's
for
kids.
Adults. Yeah, you're right. You know, you go to shop and buy a Under Armour or whatever brand you want to use. You might spend 50 quid on a nice top, and you go, Sam. Okay, well, I'm not saying about the adult ones, but parents who are sort of under pressure for the kids to have all the kits, then why can't they wrap the kits up for 50 quid then, for the whole kit? Do you know what I mean? It's like...
It's the whole kit, 100 and...
It's under... Like, what did I pay? Like, even last season, Zach's one was like 120 quid.
I'm sure I've seen people say that it's 115 quid for the whole kit. And listen, and we all know, right, there's an alternative out there. We're not pushing it, but we know that there is an alternative. We know there's an alternative out there that a lot of people are going to, because people can't justify paying that amount of money. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people who will be there today, will have been at the shop, and they have a pride in seeing their kid wearing the kit.
And I'll be one. I'm
not certainly not sitting here saying you shouldn't buy an Everton kit. And what I'm saying is, like, where does it? We probably say this every year. Where does it end?
No,
like when we were kids. Certainly when I was a kid. The kits were just coming out, as in, like, it was just becoming a big thing. And I remember used to be able to, anyone my age used to be able to buy these boxes, the Umbro box, and they had the kit, the short and the shirt, and it was, I don't even know how much it went for, but it was like, it was box. You got this little box, and you got all the stuff in the box, and I don't know how much it cost exactly, but it wasn't terrible, and it might have been 25.
But you had it for a couple of years, didn't you?
Oh, 3 years.
That's the thing.
Well, 3 years.
It was down to, like, in the 80s, it was down to 2 years, wasn't it? Everton were at home. Like, the home shirt was for 2 seasons. Occasionally, it changed. Like, we had the 82, 83 kit, which I absolutely love. The blue with the white lines, and then the reverse was the white with the blue. We only had that for the season, and then we went to Lecoq Sportif.
We had that for 2.
We had that for 2 years, and that was our most successful thing, to win the cup, win the league. And then we only had the Penguin one that you don't like, the bib, for a year. Then we changed it, but we had the next one for 2 years. We moved it like that.
It's like 2 years.
Kit providers, no problem, because that's what happens when you go with the money. But I just think, just football, not Everton per se, just football in general. They should think about parents, because the kids want all kits, don't they? You should go.
They are thinking about parents, though, aren't
they? I know, that's who
they are thinking about parents.
And you don't, of course, listen, you're absolutely right, you don't have to do it. But people
it's very difficult, though, isn't it?
I just think it's
the pressures on kids as well to have the right things and stuff is also and have it their first day and all that kind of thing. So I'm certainly not saying, just don't buy, just not at all. I just think the pressures are getting worse and worse, and as the prices go up, and you see, and the thing about it is, then this is the other side of it. If it isn't something you like, if you're an adult, you're not going to buy it. But this is why I keep going back, and I've said this loads of times. Story with the fact that they've got the Umbro thing should be banging out all the retro kits, because more people now I see go to match, and more stuff going on. It's all about the retro. Like,
for adults, it is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Paul last week was saying, like, Paul told me obviously, like, about the Adidas thing with Liverpool, and he said the thing that got Adidas over the line was the fact that they could have a whole range of Liverpool gear, of old Adidas trackies and old Adidas tops, because there's a market out there for it, and we obviously know the market is huge, and you can get them all from the dodgy sites as well. And he said that was the thing. So Adidas will come in and just sell all the old gear, and it'll be like
a new range.
It'll be like a completely new range. Now, Castore, if they got their heads together and said, right, well, we can have the Umbro gear and get all the retro stuff out and get all old trackies in it, they'd make a load. Because people would go, you know what? I don't mind paying 50 quid for a top which is timeless. That reminds me of, like, whatever my first season or winning a trophy or whatever. I don't mind that. And then this can come out and it can almost like pass them by, and they'll have that secondary market. And I don't quite understand why they're not getting involved in it now that they've got the Umbro license. I think that is such common sense. I think Everton, from what I saw last season, Everton fans, I know it's like because of the last game of this, because of the last season of Goodison, but I think loads of Everton fans I've got would much rather wear the retro gear, which is actually like trendy now. Like, even last week when I was in London, I've seen people wearing, like, as fashion items, wearing like the Brazil Total 90 top and things like that, and you see them all wearing, and Nike have brought out loads of, and Adidas have brought out loads of old stuff. Yeah. And to me, that just makes common sense, because if people don't like this kit or don't like that make, then give them something they do like, because you've got
still grab some of the wallet.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Everton fans do want to buy stuff from the Everton shop, but if you don't give them stuff that they want, then they'll go, well, I've still got money, well, what am I going to do with it? Give them something to buy. That to me is just common sense.
Yeah. You can't get as well a limited version of the kit without stake on the front as well, by the way. If that's what if you like the top, but you're thinking, I know, because a lot of Evertonians don't like having that on the front, you can get a limited amount with without the sponsor on as well. So there is something for everyone. Just talk about parents and this, because there's so many kits, but I do like the kit. I do think it's a really nice kit. I
don't dislike the kit, which is a really good starting point.
Yeah. That's fair play. Well, someone who might be in it is Thierno Barry, who yesterday it broke Everton were negotiating with, or in talks with Villarreal. We know he's got a release clause of £33 million, 40 million euros. Reports out of France and Spain are Everton hoping to bring that price down a little bit. So obviously they know they can get it done by offering the 40 million euros. Yeah. But maybe Everton are trying to bring that price. Well, it seems like they're trying to bring that price down a little bit. Is this something you applaud? They're trying to get the price down, or do you think in this instance, because they know that 33 million gets the deal done, Everton maybe should just get the agreement done quickly, therefore that's one in the bag? I know the semantics of it will be how much is the down payment and all, I know that, but is that where you are? What do you think? Think you should just pay the release just to get it done, the way sort of Chelsea did with...
Suppose it comes down to what knowledge they've got about the player. If the player wants to come, if the player wants to come, then that's obviously a really good starting point for a price. If they don't feel like they have to pay the price and they can negotiate it, then why not negotiate it? They know what the end price is going to be. If they can't negotiate it, if the lad is if he is set on coming to Everton, which there's rumours he wants to come, then they're well within their rights to negotiate and see what they can get out of the deal. Might just be the structure of the deal, mightn't be the price, just might be the structure. Because ultimately what the structure of deals is, most of the time, a big part of it, isn't it, with the PSR and stuff. So yeah, listen, I think we'd all be. People just want a name to come through the door, but it's got to be the right name and it's got to be at the right price. So wait and see what happens.
Liam Dunn makes a really good point. We're such an extreme fan base. The kit is awful. The kit is class. Barry is the new Rom. Barry is dreadful. Is that for me?
I think all fan bases are like that now.
Yeah, I think it's social media, isn't it? It's social media. Let's be perfectly honest about it. Years ago, like a kit, say the kit come out, you'd see it, wouldn't you? And you might talk to a couple of your mates, and one of them might go, I don't like it. And you go, oh, well, I like whatever. Same with players.
Yeah.
Then you go to a match and you watch them.
Yeah.
You know, and then you see.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, I really like him, or the crowd feel like behind you. It isn't just Everton, by the way, though. People judge people far too early as well. Me and saw Hunter someone last night about this, about players, you know, and who. I watched Barry last night. I watched Germany versus France in the 21s last night. Yeah, Walter May scored again. Yeah, he was decent and all that. We know he was a good player. Barry come on at half time for France. He was sub in the first half. They brought him on at half time. He was a handful. He's a bit raw. Yeah, we know that. Touch isn't amazing, but he's got something about him. He's good in the air. He's got good mobility. He scored goals. Didn't last night, you know what I mean? But he scored goals, and he's potential. Yeah. You know, when I spoke to a Villarreal supporter about him, I think James was just there in the video, and he was saying got some good stuff and stuff that he needs to work on. Yeah. But I see people that just go and get a 20-goal a season striker. And you're like, well, where are they? Yeah. Like, realistically, where are they that Everton could get? My belief is, and this is just me, and I don't know, I might be wrong, is that these are the type of strikers that Everton, the only type of strikers Everton can get. Yeah. Yeah. Because Liverpool won us, apparently. Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, all won a centre-forward, 20-goal a season. So where are they? Yeah. And their clubs who are right at the top with the money, United are, but they got a lot of money. You know, who could we get? Really? Wissa, who scored a lot of goals, I think 29. Yeah. They want 50 million for him or something. You can pay that for a 29-year-old who might not do it. And I don't believe he can play in a one anyway, as a centre-forward the way Everton play. Who else is there? Chris Wood's 33, 34, going one way. Watkins ain't coming to Everton, and he's 29, 30 this year. So I think the players who Everton could potentially get are ones with potential and ones where there is edges on them. So I just don't see a sort of plethora of strikers.
I don't think we've ever been in an era with a more scarce supply of centre forwards.
Thanks, Pep.
So it's really difficult, but just aren't that many out, and so when they pop up, people seem to try and grab them really quick. I think that ultimately they'll probably end up going to Bayern Munich now, just by the virtue of the goals he's got in this tournament, and knowing that Harry Kane's age, they'll probably go, we'll just take a chance off it.
Muller's ending, isn't he? And that there's a big pocket behind Harry Kane.
We'll take a chance on him, and Chelsea obviously getting in the lap, and they're trying to hoover up players. Manchester United, the only one who's like which is weird that no one's really gone for it is Gyökeres. It's like no one's really gone for him yet, which is a bit strange.
27, isn't he?
No, I know, but I'm just saying because of the scarcity of them.
I still think people look at him now and go, not sure. Yeah, someone who's done, because let's be honest, if he was, I'm not saying like Everton could get him, he could have been great, but still think when you look at him, you go, what would he be like in he likes to get the ball deep and run. He's not got great pace. He's not slow. He's just not like and at 27, why's nobody gone for him? Like, why did nobody take the chance on him when he was at Coventry and he was very gettable for 20 or 25 million? Do you know what I mean? Because enough teams could have gone and took him, and every 6, 7, 8, 9 all looked at him and went, no.
Yeah.
Not sure. Now, he's gone to Sporting and been brilliant, don't get me wrong, he really has. Is Portugal a marvellous marker? Don't know. I don't know. But yeah, maybe he's one at 27. They want 60 million for him. Maybe he's one. Not Everton, because I don't think we paid that much. But maybe like an Arsenal or someone. They seem set on Sesko. But maybe in that, I don't know. But maybe if it is him, who else is there after him then? In that. So I think the way you look at Barry, you've got to look at him and think, we're getting someone who there's work to be done with, but he's 22, 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", can run, good in the air, score goals.
Yeah.
They're the type you're gonna get.
They've obviously seen. We said this about. We said this, didn't we? About Dingo went to the lap. You obviously see enough in a player to recognise the potential, to say, well, we can work with this player. He's got the raw attributes that we need. Good in the air, pacey, and we can work with him, and we can get more out of him. Good, that's what good coaches can do. But they need to have the attributes. Well, they've seen the attributes. But as you said, we're not going to get the finished article as it stands. It's going to be really, really difficult to get, because they're just not out there. They're just not there. And it drives the price up straight away of any of these players. Straight away. You're talking like, if anyone wants Isaac now out of Newcastle, you're probably talking about 150 million now.
I'm talking to the Redman lads this morning, saying they reckon it's 180 million. It's like, well, no one's paying 180 million, are they? So, and he was excellent, and again, Everton could have had him a couple of times in his career, but hadn't took the chance. So,
and that's the thing, isn't it? When you buy these players now, you're going to have to take a chance on them, and you take the chance, and it might not always work out. And that can make you, I don't know, that might leave you with a bit of egg on your face, but you can only work with, you've got to back yourself, you've got to back the coaches have got to back themselves to believe that they can get more out of this player, and if the more games and more he gets used to playing in the Premier League. And that's where obviously fans have got to have that little bit of patience. That's why it's important to have that base layer, isn't it, of players, so that when these players come in, that you don't desperately need them to play every minute of a game. And if they are playing a lot of minutes, that they're playing with players who are Premier League quality players who can help them through that process, and they will get better as it goes along. The worst thing you want is to bring a player in who is trying to fit in and is in a struggling team, and obviously that's something we've had to deal with for the last 3 or 4 years. You just wonder what it would have been like for a Moyes Keane to have gone into a team that was a lot more secure in itself, and players were playing with confidence and they played a little bit higher up. I think what we saw at the back end of the season just gone was, when players are comfortable and when the games are there to be won, rather than you desperately need to win them or you desperately can't lose them, these players relax and they get more confidence, and we've seen that with a player like Beto. I think there's more time to work with these players. There's not probably in training, they're probably feeling a bit more relaxed, and everyone feels just a little bit more like they can just go and do their day job, rather than everyone walking in with a bear with a sore head. And it probably makes things a lot more easier having that little bit of time.
Yeah, and I think we've seen, like you just mentioned with Beto, we've seen the improvements he made with his back to goal. But it's not perfect, far from perfect, actually. But he did get better and better as the season went on. And I know he was very good up at Newcastle with keeping the ball and occupying them, and that's good for him to work on, isn't it? And if you get, John Vance says Barry has areas needing development, but he has that innate ability of being in the right place at the right time, and that's priceless. And someone else said his movements is all right. Carl Byron said his movements top tier, and he is. I've watched him. Doesn't always get the ball, but the way he'll come into it and then he'll pull away, because and he's in space.
They're the starting points, aren't they? They're the things there's a lot of things in football you just can't coach, and if you haven't got them, you're never going to get them.
No.
You're never going to get them. So if you've already got those basics and you add on to those basics, then it's, you know, there's a chance you've got a really good player on your hands. And if Everton have already got someone like Beto who can start games and is looking to grow, that takes the pressure off the other striker. And if you've got another one as well, maybe someone with who's a little bit more experienced, and maybe that's what Moyes will look for if he can get this one over the line, is someone with a little bit more experience who can work with these players as well every day and do a little bit of like internal coaching as well, because those things are really important as well. You need that head who can come off the bench and, you know, who's been about a little bit. I think that's important as well. I think that's important to have that player if the budget is there for it.
I think that'll be a loan.
Yeah.
And we'll see what guys it takes. It might be someone who's really experienced and knows that it might be a young striker. It might be someone he can grab just because they need a third just on the bench. While Chimiti obviously goes out and develops, so he's got 3. But you're right, you can't coach being in the right place at the right time.
No, movement is...
You know, we've seen with Dom, someone who's coached himself into a better striker all round, but he still doesn't have that natural thing that strikers have. And we've seen that over time. I'd rather my striker have that ability to put the ball in the back of the net and try to help him develop the rest of his game. Because ultimately that's all that matters. If you can just get on the end of things. Yeah. That's the key, isn't it?
Good standpoint.
I see bits of Rom in him. He's not as silky as what Rom was and stuff, but I do see the direct running a bit like Rom. I think Rom's a better dribbler than, but he can pick the ball up and take it and go with it. I remember Lukaku when he come though. His first touch, his hold-up play was woeful. It was woeful, but he had all the other bits, and it developed and got better and better and better as it went on, because it's the work. If the lad's prepared to do the work the way Beto is, and he's already way ahead of Beto in development, because I've seen it before. I was looking through his thing since he started. He played for Sochaux in France in Division 3, where he started when he was 17, I think, got 10 in 22, went to Everton, 20 and 33. Bâle got 12. That was like a step up again. 12 in 37, then got 8 and 4, and then went to Villarreal, which is the first year in one of the top 5 leagues. Got 11 and 37. But a lot of them were sub as well, and he was in and he was being used because there was a more experienced striker in and out with that. He's just developed each year, you know. So overall, his year last year was 41 games, 19 goals. Across the 2 teams. That was his season, because he played a few games in August for Bâle before Villarreal bought him. You've got to do that. It's about, he's stepped up. Every time he's stepped up, he's carried on scoring goals, and he's stepped up and he's carried on scoring goals. So that sort of technical development there. And also, you don't get in the French sort of young squad for the Euros if you're not decent, do you? Because they've got so many good players, haven't they? So I think he's an interesting one. I think it's about potential. I think if Everton get him, the fans might have to be a bit patient with. He's not the finished article, but doesn't mean the lad can't come in and be an handful. He's 6'5" and got really good movement, so good in the air. So he's going to be an handful for Premier League defenders. Now, how quick can he get up to speed? Well, that's what pre-season's there for. They've gone out now, which means he can have a couple of weeks off. If Everton can get that deal done, you know, he should be on the plane to America.
Hopefully.
I'm saying if Everton bought him and he got it done in, you know, Everton can get the deal agreed and say he joins on the 1st of July, because that's what a lot of clubs are doing. Then that'd be really good, and then he'd get him in for a week or so before they go off to America, and he'd be in that squad then, and then he's going to get games against Premier League defenders, 3 of them, 3 games to see what it's like before the real, and then you got a game against Roma, and then the season we're up and running. And the chances are, as long as he's fit, Beto will start the season anyway, because he finished it well. So the lad we can sort of bed him in. What's sort of interesting about it is it's not too much chalk and cheese with him and Beto.
No,
because you're big lad, size, the movement. And then you look at other pieces then in the jigsaw, don't you? But I think he'd be a really good sign. The thing with Voltemade is he's more of a, when you look at him, he's more of a number 10, really. He's more of a midfield player who's higher up than it. He doesn't play right through the middle with his back to goal. He wants to get it and run with it. But like you said, I think he'd probably go off to Bayern anyway. But Everton do need to be looking wide as well. The wide right-hand side is a worry for me in terms of, it's not loads of time and I'm not, but I mean, I'd love us to bring 2 in on that right-hand side, because I think we're so short there. And the 2 lads we had there last season are gone.
Yeah.
So, you know, is it Bakayoko he was mentioned? Is it Tom Fellows? I mean, we should be getting Tom Fellows and another if Moyes is liking Tom Fellows, because he, you know, you probably get him for about 12 million out the Championship, 21.
Yeah, but the targets might have shifted though, mightn't he? That was January and he held off.
Yeah.
So the targets might have been, may have been shifted now. That might have been a Kevin Thelwell kind of signing where David Moyes was like, well, if we don't really need them, let's hold that, you know, hold that one and then go back and see. We can, you know, at the end of the day, he's a West Brom player. It shouldn't be that hard to go back if we really wanted him to get him. So they're probably just having a good look around him.
Bakayoko would be a good sign, but he's another one where he's done really well, and we should take advantage that he didn't have as good a season last season, but he's still only young. That's where you dive in now, rather than if he pops again, then the next minute 4 or 5 of them are going, yeah, we want him. You know, maybe that. Can we go and test the water with Malik Fofana at Lyon, because they're struggling? Because I know
all the Lyon players. We get all the Lyon players.
And get them, bring them all in. But that's the area, isn't it, really? The right-hand side. Great, the striker option. The right as well. Yeah. The right's so important for us, because we just don't have anyone of who can do the job anyway. You know, you can put people off the left, and Ndiaye can probably go over there, but you start going...
You want a specialist?
You know. Gary Ward says, howdy. Fletcher says, great call last night, still buzzing from the comments. Everton need quality from start to finish, no matter what happens. Yeah. Matt says, afternoon, let's hope Barry is one we can do quick and don't haggle too long, as others will pay the release clause. Yeah. Derek says, by my calculation, if we don't count the out of contract players, and young players who might go out on loan, we're down to 12 players. So any additions are more than welcome. I'm hoping at least for 4 in by the middle of next month. Yeah, that's the state of the squad. So you look at it, you can either be terrified or you can look at it as an opportunity and go, this is a great chance to really flip this squad around, get the balance right, where people have talked. You know, listen, nothing else has been said about Kenny Tete, has it, than the other day. Everton, the echo yesterday, I've obviously got the nod off Everton that Everton still expect them to join. He gave his word to the verbal agreement. They expect them to join, so that might be one. Still, just said again to James before, I'm really puzzled over Seamus Coleman. Like, really. I can't work out why there's been no announcement, because it's not like he's a Dom, whereas you sign.
I can't believe there's been an announcement over Dom.
I just think he's going, and that's why.
Yeah, so we'll just announce it then.
I can sort of understand Keane and Dom if they've agreed deals with the other clubs. They might. I don't know why, but Seamus is just such an easy. I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's the 26th. It's mad. Not that I'm sat here going, why hasn't he signed? I just find that strange. The whole thing's strange with that. He's either staying or he's a coach. I don't get it. Yeah. Garner spoke to a couple of people last night, said they think he's going to sign. But again, longer it goes on, you go, is it? Dom, I just think him and Keane will go. I think you wonder if they're still negotiating with them teams, if they haven't chosen where they're going yet. Because you'd imagine if those teams are getting them. Say it was Dom, and he was mentioned with Leeds yesterday, wasn't he? it'd be a huge signing for Leeds, so you think they'd want to be going Dominic Calvert-Lewin signing on the first. So I wonder if he's still negotiating with them.
Yeah, but that doesn't need... That's still not a reason for him to not turn around and say, I'm leaving Everton.
I don't know.
That doesn't make it... You know, don't need a destination to say you're leaving somewhere.
Mm. Yeah. I don't know. It is a bit weird, isn't it? I thought we'd have well known by now.
I thought we would have known like on the Monday after the Newcastle game. Genuinely. Thought we would have known everything, unless it's going to be like an announcement for all 4 of them. But who's making the announcements? Is it in Everton's court? Why would they be asked? You know what I mean? Like, why would them
Moyes should be bothered, wouldn't he? Because if he was really bothered, he'd be saying...
Or is this like, I don't know, is this going to be the first sort of... Is this going to be the first thing Kinnear sort of is doing? I don't know. It just seems a bit weird. It seems like there's just doesn't feel like there's any need for it. Like, all we want is an announcement on a Disagana Gay signing a contract. Really? Keane and Dom, most fans couldn't care less about.
And I'm just saying, I'm not even sitting there panicking. I'm not panicking over anything, to be honest. Trisha, the most. I just think the Seamus thing is just... I just don't get it. That's what I mean. It's not that it's a big thing. I just don't get it. It's like... Listen,
they give you a new kit. Pipe down.
They didn't give me a kit. Derek says, by my calculation, if we don't count the... Oh, I've just done that, haven't I? Apologies. Ian the Blue says, if Moyes wants him, then go and get him. Pay the full release clause. No messing about with making lower offers. Yeah, I mean, there's 2 ways to look at it, isn't it? Obviously, Nick Hammond's dealing with it. It's the master negotiator. We'll see how successful he is. But if Everton, like you said before, if Everton feel like there's a deal there to be done, then every couple of million you save, it goes on someone else, doesn't it? I don't know. Spruce says, afternoon fellas, I watched the under-21 game last night, Germany-France. I can see what Baz means now about Barry being raw but with high potential, very much in the Beto type mould. Big Walt looks very good, very different to anything else out there. I would think he's PL ready for any top club. I'd love both, but realistically can only see Barry joining. I can see why the club is trying to negotiate the fee down, though not a €40 million striker yet. Paul Davies, I feel like he might not like the socks. Says bloody blue socks. Fair play. Fletcher says, I like the wave, but the kit does look too minimal though. Oh, Fletch, come on. That's like the most jazzy blue shirt they've had for a number of years. Isn't it? I don't really know what else he could do with it other than, I don't know. I'm not a kit
quite
designer.
A lot of lines in that. It's quite jazzy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Bappy says, nice kit, but 80 quid. Lol, DH gate it is. Adam says, did you see that ridiculous stat about Barry's aerial duels success being something like 98% that he wins? Whip that ball in, Dwighty, and Thierno will do the rest, Adams put. There was a story yesterday about Dwight McNeil might be leaving. Few clubs looking at him because he's not sure he's going to get in. Probably just tenuous links. But Stuart says, afternoon guys, coming in late, unfortunately, probably not the right call, but do you know if the club are doing anything special for season ticket holders as it's the first season in the new ground?
Yeah, you all get a seat.
You get a seat. Yeah. You get a bigger seat than what you've ever been used to.
That's it, every game. And you know where it is.
Baffy says he should go for the German under-21 left-back. He's been impressive in the tournament so far. Well, if you watched the full-backs who me and James highlighted, Nathaniel Brown was on that list. I liked Quentin Merlin, the French one last night.
He's a bit of a wizard.
He was left foot like a wizard. Gary Ward says, I think the new kit is pretty sharp.
There you go. It's got a Gary Ward seal of approval. That's all it needed.
James says, how did the DH Gates know it was the kit? It's been on there for ages. The quality
I don't know.
Because they get leaked everywhere and then someone just makes a copy of it up, don't they? No. David E.O. says, the price is too high, 40 quid would work. Get it at the end of the season. Everton Viking says, I'd be over the moon if we sign Barry. Yeah. Well, there's certainly trying to get it done, I think, aren't they? So
Azar on the super chat says, "Hi lads, hope you're all good. Didn't like the new kit, but it's grew on me. It looks good. Would love us to sign for Fana from Lyon, also, as well as Barry." Here we go.
Nix says, "I think the new shirt is dreadful. Personally, hope we get rid of Castori and Stake next season. Get Hummel back. Hummel aren't coming back. But fair play." Tom says, "Watched the under-21 game last night on Barry Watch and thought Walter Maid was a handful. Would love it if we could just get both of them." Derek says the sound's echoing very sci-fi. Now he says it's fine. It's all right. Must have been his end. Stuart says, "I'd love the giant Tom Davies, but think his value will go too high following this. He's constantly involved. Barry isn't a starter for France, but much more within our reach. Still very raw, but seems to make good runs." Stuart Carter says, "I don't know why it's so hard for a professional kit manufacturer to design a kit that's got something about it. I'm with Ped. I'd love an Adidas kit. I put it into AI drawing program and came up with some ace designs. Not sure I can send you them, or even if you'd be allowed to show them." You can send them if you want. Derek says, Mendoza, the Maple Leaf Toffee, says, "I like the concept of the wave design, as Ped alluded to. It's distinctive and to me makes a covertly aggressive appropriation of the iconic Mersey with the blue. The true and traditional club of the city, as it should be." I like it.
Got in there.
Steve P says, "Watching Hutchison for the under-21s, I'd definitely have him fast and a very good dribbler, and I think he'd definitely improve our attack. I could see us going after him because he's played in the Premier League, rather than someone young from Europe, even though I don't agree with it. It's more realistic." I liked him in the Championship. I didn't think he was very good last season, if I'm perfectly honest, for Ipswich. But maybe it was just a bedding in season, and they've done the work for Everton. I just don't see Everton paying 30 million for him, to be honest. James says, "Don't buy the kits, but do get the training gear, but not a full price. Wait till it goes on classic football shirts or M&M. Ran 10k in my green Pro Top yesterday."
It's nice to gain top. It's nice to gain top.
Everton Viking says, "I think Everton fans need a readjustment on how much a modern player costs. Wolves have just spent 20 million on a lad who's played 17 games. We've been skinned and scraping for so long that our fans need to adapt to modern prices. 30 million for Barry wouldn't be as expensive as fans have stated, and remember, fees are spread over a contract. 30 million these days isn't what it used to be."
No, it's just not.
Correct. James Warland has got the blue Brazil 98 top and the Everton 98 top. They would rather have bought a replica 98 top off the club.
Exactly.
Dave said, "Need to get it done before someone else sweeps on him." Thomas says, "Awful kit, just proper lazy." Okay, I mean, I don't think it's lazy. I'm not disagreeing with your view on what you think. That's up to you. Ped, I understand what you say about these smaller brands paying us more, but with bigger brands you get so much more exposure, so much more accessible for fans to buy. Everton should be with a bigger brand than Castori, and overall getting more eyes on Everton would make more money in the long run than just getting money from a crap company."
That's not necessarily true, though. What you've just said, it's not necessarily true. Did Leicester get more?
No, Leicester got nothing from
Brandon. No, but did they get more exposure because they were with Adidas? I don't think they did. I think I was in the Adidas shop in London last week, and it was Manchester United, Real Madrid, Newcastle. Who else? There was a little bit of Roma in there. And then in a month's time, it'll be Liverpool, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Newcastle. There was none of all the... And Adidas do provide quite a lot of kits around Europe, like quite a lot of kits.
Weren't Wolves with Adidas?
They were, yeah. A while ago.
Villa, yeah.
Villa's kit was in there because it's a new kit. But that was it. There was none of like... There was no like Leicester kit or any of these other kits that they do. Lots and lots of kits.
I rushed in 2013, 14. and 2015. We still have it in 2015. No, sorry, 2012, 2013. I remember being in Orlando and going into the night shop excited because I've been in it so many times and seen every other kit. Went in looking for an Everton kit. Wasn't a single one there. Was not a single one there with Nike. Yeah. Everyone else, literally everybody, and it wasn't the size of Everton. There was small clubs who just had a generic shirt. There was nothing. There was nothing.
That's partly down to
partly down to
That's
Everton,
partly down to Everton,
but partly down to the thing. I don't think there's any more exposure unless you win stuff.
Everton, listen, they're always going to take or have taken the best offer, aren't they? The only way you can get round it, like as I said loads of time, Castori have the licence for Umbro. So Rangers signed a 7-year deal with Castori early on this year, but they're with Umbro now. And they've gone back to what looks like a traditional kit for them. Everton could do something similar.
But the people buy Umbro.
I think you buy, most people just buy kits clubs are given to them anyway. So that's a shortcut right there from getting away from this brand, which I just don't think has got any sort of... It's got no market share, as in like casual stuff, like what people wear day to day.
But that's what I mean with Umbro, though. That's
no, I know, but I think Umbro is because Umbro's a traditional thing, and what I mean is by having Umbro, having that brand, you'd probably get the same stuff, but then because you've got that brand, you can start... You could probably do this anyway, as I've said. Then you can have all the retro stuff, and I think that could be a big money spinner for Everton. Could get loads of people could start buying it. The only thing with Adidas is, now obviously Roma is Adidas. Now Roma with a second tier. You have tiers when you have kits. Yeah. Roma with a second tier Adidas brand. But Roma were with Adidas years ago, so they could bring out the retro stuff, and the retro stuff was so popular that Adidas bumped them up to being a top tier team because they sold so much gear, and that's the only way to do it. And it's like a chicken and an egg thing, isn't it? It's like if the gear's crap, people won't buy it, and if people don't buy it, then why would any brand come in and go, we'll offer you loads of money? And that's been the problem with Everton for years. Is like they don't bring out gear because they don't expect anyone to buy it, but the stuff they do bring out is awful. You go in the club shop and the stuff is awful, so no one buys it. So they stop making it. Give people what they want. Talk to fans, ask them what they want, and then maybe you will get one of these big brands swooping in, going, "Wow, you sell X." That's why Adidas went to Newcastle, because Newcastle fans buy everything. Yes. So what? And now they can offer them the retro stuff as well, the Kevin Keegan stuff. They'll buy loads of that as well. Everton don't have a history with any brand maker other than Umbro and Lecoq Sportif. Lecoq Sportif have been on their arse. But at least when Lecoq Sportif came back, we got some of the retro stuff. We got like the 85 stuff, and you could get it properly branded, and they brought Sakis out and stuff, and people brought it. But to go to... I can't imagine we'll go to Adidas because they're getting Adidas. So I can't imagine them wanting to do it. Nike, as I said, have pulled back massively from football. They're only going into the absolutely top teams now, where the money can be made. Puma, maybe, but they've got City. So we are going to get one of these lesser brands.
Yeah, but Villa have got Adidas and Liverpool have got Adidas. City.
No, but Liverpool are huge, and Villa are the biggest club in Birmingham. So, and they, don't forget, the people who own Villa own Adidas.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they've got it.
Yeah.
Everton, you are going to have to suck it up. But if we're going to have one of these brands, for God's sake, bring stuff out that our fans are going to buy then. Bring casual stuff out. Bring stuff out. Like, there's... I just, to me, this is an absolute no-brainer, right? In this city, everybody wears tops like that, right? They wear Montrix ones, they wear Under Armour ones, they wear Nike ones. They're everywhere. That's all the kids wear. So bring out stuff like that then. Bring out casual tops that kids will wear. Like, people are putting their kids in Montrix gear because it's cheaper than anything else, and they know they can throw it on them, and they look good, but they can just wear them all day. They're like, the kids are wearing them all day, day in, day out. Another month. They're like, it's like uniform, isn't it?
Yeah.
So bring out Everton stuff. Castori already sell this kind of gear, but it's far too expensive. Far too expensive. Bring out a range of Everton stuff that is like that. I've got one which is a Toffee TV one, and I've got one from the end of the season. Bring out stuff like that with a few interesting patterns on that our fans and especially kids can just wear, and they're not like, there's no thing behind them. It's just like you walk in a shop and go, right, I need to buy my kids some top. Well, you know what? I was going to buy them the Monterix one, but I'll buy them the Everton one because actually that's brand loyalty and that's an alright top and they're doing the same job and it's not any more expensive. Do that. Look at what people wear in our city. Instead of going, is a thing that we just mass produce and everyone wears it, and you go, no one in this city is wearing it. No one in this city is wearing that top. But that's what's been happening far too often. We are literally the only thing Castori's got left. We're the only team in the Premier League, bar Burnley, which is good for Fletch. So, like, it doesn't make any sense. Start offering fans what they want, what they wear all the time. Because if you don't, you'll have the same situation all the time. You'll just be bringing kits out and a few training bits and no one will be buying it. And Everton will be out of pocket because the brands will go, your fans don't buy anything. And then we're never going to get that next level. You can't expect an Adidas or a Puma or a Nike to be knocking on our door when our fans simply don't buy the gear. But if we're not buying the kits, give us something. Give us something. If I need to buy a new top to go running in, the first place I'm gonna look for is Everton. Okay. Before I look at the Nike site or I look at the Under Armour site or I look at anything else, I have loyalty. So the only brand I have loyalty to is Everton. But if you don't give me something I want to buy, then I'm not going to buy it, am I? It's ridiculous, and it doesn't have to be like Everton. It means like could come in and be like a top like that with a dead subtle badge on it.
I don't understand why Everton don't just have the top. Like these kind of sports socks
that's what I'm saying.
With just the tower on.
Or the badge from the end of the season, the EFC one. I think that's a boss. I think that's a boss top.
Or just have it the same colour.
Decide you're having an active collection, and it's just going to have whatever badge it has on it. Pick a badge. Don't have the full one because it's too busy. Just pick.
That's how it.
Pick one, and just go with it.
I think a lot of people just like the tower. Because it's like you can have it. It doesn't have to be like the kits. It's just like a more subtle one that you can throw on. Just
go with it.
I think they just need. Seriously, think they just need to start liaising with you, with your vision with the sports stuff.
I just think.
No, but I do because or get a team.
Get a team
together. People who are doing clearly.
Get a team together.
Some of the stuff I see come out, I'm just like,
exactly.
Who is wearing? Like,
you all that American footy stuff. It was rubbish. But like,
who's gonna wear that anyway?
It doesn't make any. It just doesn't make any sense to bring stuff out that nobody buys.
Baseball stuff. James says this is for Fletch. Just listen back to last night's phone in, and it's a quick reply to Fletch. I recently got an 8-week-old gold doodle. Called it Toffee, as it was the only Everton-related name the missus and my 2 daughters would allow. There you go. Omega's links have gone quiet, Ian. Doesn't mean they're not still looking. Steve P says, I think if we do sign Barry, it's important for people not to get carried away thinking he's going to come in and score 20 goals and he'd be the new Rom. He's got a lot of potential, but he's raw. He's like quite Beto-esque when you watch him with his touch, and his older play isn't quite there. Not saying that's a bad thing, no, because I like him. I just think he's going to need time to be worked on, and he'll improve like Beto is. But he's better than the younger with a higher ceiling. He's in the bracket of the best type of striker we can be getting, because it's impossible for us to get the very best. Some of the top clubs can't even get them. That'd be made up with the signing. Seen someone mention Mateta before, but they want 60 million for him. And, you know, talk about a player who you looked at and thought, he's not going to be able to do it in the Premier League. And he's developed and got better, hasn't he? So, Eddie says, I feel like Evertonians, like all other fan bases, like to be negative just for the vibes. Okay. Phil Williams says, Mike Lyons was a friggin' hero who claimed close to silverware. I went full ped, see my ass. In the tier list, okay. Curly says, lads, hot take. I think Omari Hutchison should be our top target for right wing. Leif Davis at left back. Okay. Bappy says, Barry, when he came on, gave France a focal point. He did. He didn't have anything in the first half. They were trying Matthias Tell through the middle, and that was a disaster. Michael Barnes says, anyone know how many more sleeps until John Blaine is back? I think Michael Barnes is related to John. I do. He's back next week sometime. Ian says, isn't there a third place playoff, Baz? No, I don't think there is one. I might be wrong, but I'm sure I heard the other day, or I read something that was it. Whoever went out, the tournament was over. But just double check it, Ian. But I don't think there is. I might be wrong.
Because Story do the Formula One, and they do the cricket team, and they do the England rugby team as well now. But in terms of football, they're still a small brand, aren't they? We're Wolves and Burnley the only brands they've got in the Premier League, and loads of clubs have left them. They signed up loads of clubs, and all those clubs have left them.
Jay says, now this signing would excite the fan base and would be a statement. I enjoyed last night's phone-in. Annabelle's voice is like a smooth brandy by a log fire. Then you have Fletch, who makes you feel like you've done 20 tequilas on a Friday night. I mean, quite the analogy, Jay. Quite the analogy. Matt Gibson says, saying nothing about the 4 out of contract players is poor in my opinion. I don't believe for 1 second we don't know the outcomes. Matt Thomason says, I think if the club made shirts for 2 seasons, they'd actually sell a lot more, which might mitigate the loss from producing a new one every year.
But that's the other side of it, though. When you're having to make a kit every year, all the ideas have been used, haven't they? Like, it must be difficult, like, if you're coming up with a new idea all of the time. It must be like you're having to, and kits are never going to be universally loved.
Nope.
They're just simply not, are they?
Nope.
Never happens. They're never going to be universally loved. It's, as I've said, it's about catering to everybody. It's about, if someone doesn't like one kit, then having another kit that they do like, and then or having a third kit, or whatever it is, or having different ranges. It's important that people walk into the club shop prepared to spend money and walk out with something. That's massively important. There should be like literally a room, just people coming up with ideas of how not to let people walk out a club shop. When we went to Dortmund, the 3 of us, they had a cafe in their club shop. We walked around, we had a little look, we went upstairs, we all grabbed the coffee, we sat down, and then one by one we all walked away and went back downstairs, and we all made a purchase, because it was like they made sure we stayed in that shop and had a little think. Whereas how many times have you walked in the Everton shop and gone, oh, maybe not, I'll have a think about that, then you leave the shop and then you don't go back, or by the time you've gone back, you might have gone somewhere else. They made sure we didn't leave that shop with fantastic pastries.
That was nice. Yeah.
And they made sure, and we went and bought something. And that's got to be the goal, isn't it? If anyone walks into that club shop and they are prepared to spend money, then they spend money. Because that's the way I look at it. Every time I want to spend my money on Everton gear before I spend it anywhere else. And it should be the same. That should be the ethos for everything, shouldn't it? On a match day. Don't be spending your money with over there. You should be spending it in the stadium. How do we do that? Well, if your ale is more expensive than the place over the road, why would anyone come into the ground and buy your ale? Especially when it's been the kind of ale it has been in the past. And that should be the philosophy for everything in the football club. How do we there's no point saying, well, they're in the ground now, we'll charge them X amount of money. Well, then people are just not going to come into the ground till 5 to 3 then. Doesn't matter if it's a new shiny ground. If people have got money to spend, make sure they're spending it with Everton. Whatever way you can make that happen. But it's going to be that you're offering something that they want and someone else can't offer them. And that's got to be the most important thing.
Okay. Fair play. Dave Hoggarts, who's a YouTube member, says, I live in Australia now, and I went home last year, walked into the club shop before the Newcastle game, and there was nothing I liked, and I'm easily pleased. The merch isn't great. Interesting.
Listen, if Everton want to invite me in and have a little consultation, no issue with that, you know what I mean? Don't be scared.
Fletcher says Puma would be nice, not too big for Everton.
I don't think anyone's too big, Fletch. I don't think anyone's too big for Everton. It's just to do with, as I've just said, it's a chicken and egg thing. It really is. Some clubs, fans, buy everything. Like, if you ever go to an Arsenal game, their fans are head to toe in Adidas gear, and there's new ranges coming out every single month, and it's boom, boom, boom. Everton don't do that, and when they do it, so we had that range out at the end of the season, the farewell to Goodness and stuff. You couldn't buy half of it. It was sold out by the even though they hadn't put it online. So God knows how much they had available, and they had like a zip up top, and I got in touch with them and said, "Is this coming out?" And they were like, "Oh, we had that in stock," and you didn't have it in stock whatsoever. It never went online. The players are wearing it. It looks nice. Why aren't you selling this gear? And it was like, and people wanted that stuff, and you couldn't get hold of it. It's like, well, so you got that's where. So you're offering things that are nice, people can't get.
Yeah,
and that's the point. It's like, make stuff people like, and if it sells out, get more of it.
See, you've got to try. Yeah, you've got to try to draw people in, haven't you? To spend on the money with you as much as you can.
And as I said, other clubs do. Newcastle fans spend loads of money. Liverpool fans spend loads of money. Arsenal fans spend loads of money. Manchester United fans spend loads of money on gear. They have all the gear. We as I said before, it is a bit of a chicken and egg thing. I don't expect any Everton fan to buy something that they don't actually like. But those other clubs have so much stuff. But then you can say, why would anyone take a chance on Everton?
Yeah. Someone's asked you, are you doing the 10K?
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
10K.
Oh, I might like sign up the week before or something. I don't know where it goes. Just start at the ground. Does it just go down the road and come back?
What, 10 times?
Just 1K laps.
Feels like
just do laps at the stadium.
It feels like it'd be a bit boring.
Yeah.
Kev Maloney says, I just want Everton to have a decent selection of t-shirts. If you look at other clubs' selection, it's pathetic. Thomas says the last kit I bought was the green third kit, the Hummel one, and the Hammers. She's seen it the other day, and it got voted the worst shirt ever. The mint one, he loved that mint one, Hammers, didn't he?
Oh, it's a nice kit, though.
Yeah.
Didn't Luca Dean get sent off in it? It's Southampton.
Yeah, and he stood on the thing, yeah. Thomas says if the Reds didn't have New Balance, I'd like that, or Under Armour's good. Castori just isn't known. Everton has a huge fan base in Australia. You know how hard it is to get a kit. It's a joke. See, that's one thing, right, that I just don't get. It's like, how is it still so difficult to get kits in this day and age? Like, why can't Australians get Everton kits? Why can't Americans get Everton kits?
I had Americans getting in touch with me over that range, saying, can you bring some over to America for us? Because they weren't sending it. I don't know whether the new kit's available for America. It's got to do with the tariffs, hasn't it? It was to do with the tariffs, so I don't know whether the new kit. But again, we've told this story before. We were in the Liver buildings when Fanatics signed a new deal with Everton, and we spoke to the people at Fanatics, and they told us that stuff would be available in America through their American channels, because they would have warehouses full of Everton gear, and it wouldn't be sent over from America, because I know one of the big problems Americans have is sizes, and it's not worth sending stuff back when the size is not right. And what's the problem is, when kits change suppliers, the fit norm, the Hummel fit is a lot different to the Castori kit fit. And they said they were going to have a warehouse where you could buy it directly, and it hasn't happened. And so why hasn't it happened, though? Fanatics are literally the biggest distributor in America. So why haven't they got a warehouse full of Everton gear where if you order from America,
it's just done?
Or you can get these kits in America? That to me is mad in this day and age. What are we doing? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is mad. People want to spend the money, give them the opportunity to spend it. Alex Goulding says, McAtee, eye test, can we just get this done? Time to commit ourselves to future stars. Yeah, he is a good player, James McAtee. There's no doubt about it. Very talented footballer. But he is still there, isn't he? He's still over there because England are in the final. Harvey Elliott got 2 last night, didn't he?
Yeah.
Annabelle says the shirt is okay, but I love the fact I could buy one without the advertising from a gambling. So, yeah. Ian Barron says, Baz, the mighty Darlington fans vote for the new home and away tops. Would that be an option for Everton? Everton would just never do it, would they? Mark S says, you're pretty much past the Liver building.
Oh, for the run?
On the run.
Okay.
Fair enough. And Kez says, can't buy any of the Fanatic stuff in Australia because of a trademark dispute.
So the actual stuff that's made by Fanatics, which is, again, that's just ridiculous, isn't it? That's just really, really ridiculous.
It's crazy. Craig says, I agree with Ped. I'm desperate to spend money on Everton gear, but I'm always underwhelmed when I go to the club shop. Ordered the new shirt this morning, even though it's just fine. Yeah.
That's it. People want to spend money. People want to spend...
If they've got the money and want to spend it, the club should be trying to do as much as they can to extract that. Now, okay, we're not talking about families, parents who have kids and all. We're talking about other people with disposable income who go, I need a new top and I want to buy an Everton version of, like we said, like a running, a top and a sports. So there should be a whole range for that. Everton should look. We've looked at it here, haven't we? I'm still not convinced we can't sort something out, but it's that there, it's that popular. People want to do it. Why Everton not going, what's everyone wearing in our city? Like, aren't these from the Wirral?
Yeah.
I know it's a bit different, the Wirral, like, you know, but
it's definitely different.
There you go. They live on the Wirral. So they should know, like, what Scousers wear and Wirralites wear and people in North. I know, but people who were close to it, I'm having a bit of tongue in cheek.
No, that's...
But they should sort of go, well, they all wear that, okay. Let's do a version of that, which is quite simple, listen. Wherever they get the tops from and just put an Everton thing on it and go, off you go. Go full Nike. Create a version where you just go, plaster that badge on it. There you go, sell it. And you might get loads of people go, I'm having that.
But you can do that with Custody gear, though. You could do that. That's all.
No, that's
all the top was. That's all that farewell.
They've got like a little.
The farewell to Goodison top was a top that I already owned, and I bought it blank and put a Toffee TV logo on it. It was the same gear, and it was marked up. I was in a Custody shop last week in the
that's what I meant. Just
in the outlet village, and there was loads of like royal blue tops like that.
So why
that Everton could just go, do us a favour, can we knock up 1,000 of those and stick them in the shop and see if it sells?
Put a Toffee like a badge on.
Everything's just a bit weird.
It seems a bit weird, but I mean, I don't know what you can say. John Blaine was in the comments and put a really interesting thing up. Only 9 players in the Premier League last season scored over 15 goals. So when everyone's going, we just need a 20 goal. We'll go and buy a 20 goal season. It's like they're not here. They're nowhere to be. I'm sure Liverpool probably had 3 of them in their team. So it's not as easy to do it. That's why we are having to try and get that sort of next level player who we're trying to. You know, the key would have been buy Thierno last summer for 14 million euros before he went to Villarreal. You can do that if you've got one in the middle and a striker at the other end. You can do that. That's where Everton's next big market's got to be. Can we get them? Can we get Amadou Onana when he's leaving Germany for 11 million instead of paying 30 million for him a year later? You know, that's where Everton have got to be better at. But let's see. West says they don't want international fans. Literally wanted to spend my money and cross the ocean twice. That is not a good look, is it? Or if that's even a concept that people think, Everton will deny it, and they will, because as if they don't want international fans to do it. But even if that's a conversation where people think that might be a thing, that's not very good for Everton, is it? So they're gonna have to sort that. Matthew Rampton said Liverpool have spent 216 million. City have spent 116 million. Arsenal have spent nothing so far. Next week it'll all change, won't it? Stephen Richardson said we could do with signing an American goalkeeper to push our profile over there. Some American players would do. Right, like, subscribe, do all that. Thank you, everybody. Thierno, Barry and Everton might be moving closer to each other, according to stuff last night that's out there. Everton speaking to Villarreal about the signing, so it'd be if Everton could get it done, it'd be a good start to the summer for getting a player in who looks like, you know, he's got a lot of potential. So let's see. Lots of work to be done in the transfer market by Everton. So there you go. Check out Ped's kit review video if you've not watched it yet. Leave a little comment underneath and take it easy. We'll see you later. Bye.